little videos from Baikonur launch campaign. You can see the assembly of the rocket itself now. Very spectacular. And yes, fueling of frigate and integration of the payloads onto the frigate. You can see these are the small satellites, and in the deployers with CubeSats, this is the fairing. And shortly you will see how the fairing is installed on the rocket. This is one of the strap-on boosters being integrated as a packet on the launch vehicle. You can see it's being lowered. Various handling operations on the installation of the payloads on the frigate. You can see small sets. And so very interesting and very exciting for all of us. Now you can see operations on the frigate, and with the frigate and the payloads, you can see the CubeSat deployers. That was quite a big effort for all of us. Big team worked all the time. And you can see CAS-501 on top of the frame, and the smaller payloads on the lower tier. And yes, some tilting and handling operations with the entire stack. And now you can see the fairing installation on the frigate stack to make a nose module. This is called encapsulation. And now you can see the logos on the fairing.
Yes. Great and fantastic everything what we see here. Yes, but I suppose that many people will be curious to know what a typical launch mission of a Soyuz launch vehicle with a frigate upper stage looks like, and we have an opportunity to show you this.
Oh yes, the video will give you a visual representation of our mission today, and during which frigate will form 3 different orbits to separate all the satellites. And the last burn of the upper stage will ensure it's deorbit and splashdown in the Pacific Ocean.
And so I would like to add that the frigate reliability factor is 97.7%, and that makes it one of the most reliable launch vehicle upper stage worldwide.
Indeed, more than 300 Russian and foreign satellites have been already delivered to their orbits using the frigate upper stage.
Yes, and friends, there is another reason to call you and to call today's launch unique. For the first time in decades, the Soyuz T launch vehicle will be presented in a new painting design. Evgeny, can you tell us more about this?
Absolutely. Today, Soyuz is presented to you not in the usual gray and orange color combination, but a new white and blue color pattern. The new color pattern was inspired by the Vostok launch vehicle that is on a permanent display at the Moscow Exhibition of Economic Achievements. And the fairing of the launch vehicle will continue to be of its original white color. As for the rest, the orange will be changed to blue, and the gray will be replaced with the white one. And it is assumed that future GK launch missions will use this color design of the rocket.
Yes. And now we will witness another key moment of the launch, the rocket roll out to the launch pad. Evgeny, can you explain us what is happening next?
With pleasure. Let's take a look at a short video demonstrating that. You can see the fully assembled nose module with all the fragate and the payloads inside, and this is the Soyuz third stage. And you can see now how the air supply hoses are attached to the fairing. Now they are integrating the nose module with the third stage. And you can see this mechanical connection. And then the stack will go to be integrated with the rest of the rocket. Then the fully assembled launch vehicle will travel on a special train platform to the launch pad. And you can see it's moving very slowly. And you can see the protective shroud on the fairing to maintain necessary temperature and humidity environment. And once the rocket has arrived at the launch pad, a special mechanism will turn it into a vertical position. And the gantries will move on the launch vehicle to start its operations to prepare it for the flight. And this is the real operations that were being performed with this rocket. And now you can see that the rocket is being readied for launch. Thank you.
So what we have been waiting for all today's broadcast is about to happen. Fasten your seatbelts. The launch will take place in any minute now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we're waiting for the liftoff, and you can see the rocket poised for launch. It's just a couple of minutes left before the liftoff. So we're waiting for this beautiful rocket to take off today. It's less than 1 minute before the liftoff. So it's counting, and the rocket is scheduled to be launching very soon. You can see the gantries are going off the rocket. So we're about to go. Just seconds before we go. So you can see the ignition, and we're about, yes, now we are taking off, and we have the liftoff of this beautiful rocket on its flight into orbit. And so now we will be watching the flight sequence. How beautiful it is, you can see, ladies and gentlemen. That's very fantastic view of Soyuz. We'll be in the clouds soon already, and now we will go into the launch sequence. So the first upcoming event will be the separation of the first stage. That's going to be in about less than a minute and a half. That's about 117 seconds into flight. So it looks like everything is nominal right now. And the rocket continues its ascent. So it already has a control system operating properly. So we're going higher and higher. It's already 80 seconds into flight, and so everything is nominal. So 90 seconds from liftoff. All parameters of the launch vehicle are nominal, so we're good. 100 seconds. So everything is okay. And we're about to separate the strap-on boosters. So the rocket pitch, yaw, and roll parameters are nominal. So we're about to separate the strap-on boosters. Separation of the strap-on boosters confirmed. Separation of the first stage confirmed, in other words. Now the second stage motor parameters are nominal. So we're about 140 seconds into flight. So our next upcoming event is the separation of the second stage, or the core stage. That will be in about 287 seconds into flight. Everything looks nominal. It's 160 seconds from liftoff. Rocket continues its ascent. 170 seconds. All flight parameters are nominal. 180 seconds. Everything looks good. 190 seconds. Rocket continues its flight. Ready, 200 seconds. Everything looks good. We will have the separation of the second stage in just slightly over 1 minute. 220 seconds. All flight parameters are nominal. And there will be just a series of events after the second stage separation. So we will also have we're expecting the second stage separation, and then lower skirt jettisoning and the fairing drop. So all flight parameters readout is nominal. The rocket continues its ascent, 260 seconds from liftoff. Everything looks good. 270 seconds. We're expecting the separation of the second stage any second. We have confirmed separation of the second stage, fairing drop and lower skirt jettisoning. The third stage and with the nose module continues its ascent. Our next milestone to reach will be the cutoff of the third stage main engine, and that's It's going to be about 525 seconds into flight. Right now, everything looks good. 330 seconds. Everything looks nominal. So flight parameters are nominal. The rocket continues its ascent. 350 seconds. 360 seconds into flight. Roll pitch, your parameters are nominal. Everything looks good. 380 seconds. Flight continues. 400 seconds since the liftoff. Everything looks okay. We're less than 2 minutes from the separation of the third stage. All flight parameters are nominal. The rocket continues its flight. It's almost 440 seconds from liftoff. All readings are good. We're approaching the next milestone of today's flight. That's going to be the separation, the cutoff first of the third stage main engine, followed shortly by the separation of the nose module. So 470 seconds into flight. All flight parameters are nominal. We're going good. 490 seconds from liftoff. The rocket continues its ascent. The flight parameters nominal. 500 seconds. Everything looks good. 510 seconds. All flight readings are nominal. 520. Everything looks good. We have cut off of the third stage engine and separation of the nose module. So now the flight continues.
So friends, the launch has taken place, but we continue to track the spacecraft injection process. Evgeny, can you tell me what is going to happen next?
Oh yes, the separation of CAS-501 satellite will occur about 1 hour from the liftoff on the first orbit. Then in about 2.5 hours, ground satellites will separate on the second orbit. And in about 4 hours from the liftoff, the remaining satellites will separate on the third orbit. And the end of the mission will be in about 4.5 hours from liftoff.
Okay, and let's switch for the flight, President.
Sure, absolutely.
Sure, flight, and thank you so much, Evgeny, for the very interesting conversation and for opportunity for me to be a part of such a unique and memorable moment.
It's been a pleasure, and I'm happy to have hosted this broadcast with you. A really exciting and memorable moment for myself. As I said at the beginning, no matter how many launches you've seen, each one gives you this incomparable feeling.
I agree with you. You're right. And you can get all further information about the flight and the spacecraft orbit insertion in the social networks of TK Launch. You can find links to them in the broadcast description. And I congratulate you on the fact that the Soyuz 2 ascent phase has been completed nominally. And I wish success to TK Launch services and all your customers. While today the outer space has become a little closer and clearer to all of us. Have a great day.
Thank you and bye-bye.
Thank you.